Africa.
Keep watching PMTV Africa.
Keep watching PMTV Africa.
I'm giving a shout out to PMTV, People's Mind.
Hi guys, keep watching PMTV Africa.
Hey everybody, keep watching PMTV.
From Toronto, PMTV. Don't touch that die.
Hey guys, keep watching PMTV.
Nigerians, wherever you are, whatever you know, keep on watching People's Mind Television, PMTV.
Thanks for joining us this weekend as we take a look at some of the stories on the front pages of our local and national newspapers. I am Sandra Obwe and I will begin with Ika Weekly newspaper. And on the front page of Ika Weekly newspaper, you see at the left top there, it is written, God's Divine Fire Ministry celebrates General Overseer Apostle Dr. Frank Mwacho at 38. You can get details on page 9. And right there in the middle is an advert of Prince Paradise Global Concept Limited, PPGC return on investment package. And next to it, Ika Weekly have their personality of the week in the person of Knight Satona Oki Hukoma, and he goes ahead to talk about why American government honors the Day of Agbo Kingdom. Details are on page 4 of Ika Weekly newspaper. And beneath these stories, you have it there, Future Leaders Political Group launched as youth drum support for Oboriwori and thank Okowa. Details are on page 5 of Ika Weekly newspaper. And right there in the middle, Delta Education Commissioner storms Ika Nation and warns against illegal collections in schools. Details are on page 11. And next to it, APC Ika Federal Constituency gives Chamberlain a rousing welcome. Details are on page 22. And beneath that, residents scoop fuel as tanker falls. This event took place at the early hours of Thursday, and the details are on page 16 of Ika Weekly newspaper. And moving on, it is boldly written there on the front page of Ika Weekly newspaper, late Mrs. Osagbobo Veronica funeral service held in her honor on Saturday, September 23rd, 2023. All right, that's all we have on the front page of Ika Weekly newspaper. Next is Ika Mirror newspaper, and on the front page of Ika Mirror, at the left top there, it is written, God has been faithful to me, says Prophet Uwe. And next to it, Governor Oboriwori swears in Aminu Imaswa as DSIEC, and that is the Delta State Independent Electoral Commission. And next to it, NDDC Chair Tinubu should not listen to rabble-rousers, says CAC. And below, you have it there, Ihu Iyase Unity Forum. Animele applauds initiative. Details on page 2 of Ika Mirror newspaper. And followed is Ogbe Sere community celebrates illustrious son, Dr. Donald Peterson. And followed birthday. I am thanking God for preserving my life, says Apostle Mwacho. It's still on the front page of Ika Mirror newspaper. PDP hijacked Ika South Palliative, says Labour Party. And beneath that, Utokbo community to celebrate New Yam festival on the 7th of October, and also to hold Thanksgiving on the 8th of October 2023. And on the left side, we have Tata Bozogo's Legacy, a Car South Legislative Arm Complex series. All right, I think that's all we have on the front page of a Camero newspaper. Now let's move on to the stories on the front page of the Light newspaper. It is boldly written there, Nigeria at 63. Quest for improved governance continues. And still on that, Honorable Nwagbogu salutes Nigerians and preaches peace and unity. Still on Nigeria at 63. And beneath that, Governor Sheriff swears in Aminu Imaswa as DESEC Commissioner, and that is the Delta State Independent Electoral Commission, as it was also stated on the front page of Ika Weekly newspaper. And beneath that, still on Nigeria at 63, UPU Ika chapter felicitates with Nigerians. Details are on page 14 of the Light newspaper. And next, APC government is the worst government Nigeria has gotten since independence, says Chief Dr. Hassan, and details are on page 8 of the Light newspaper. And beneath that, a Car South youth goes ahead to say Honorable Nwagbogu Onyeka Marvin is a beacon of hope and prosperity for Ika South. And they say, our leader with you, we are sure Ika South youths are carried along. All right, moving on. Moving on, Honorable Marilyn Okowa Daramola distributes school materials to pupils, and you can find this on page 7 of the Light newspaper. And beneath that, Unidel is out to produce graduates that will create wealth and value to the society, says Professor Obiazi, and details are on page 5 of the Light newspaper. All right, I think that's all we have on the front page of the Light newspaper. Moving on, let's take a look at the top stories on the front page of the Pointer. You have it there on the right top. Nigeria needs 250,000 medical doctors to meet WHO standard. That is the standard of the World Health Organization. And next to it is the coup. Africa needs to rejig its democracy, says the ex-president Jonathan, that is the ex-president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. He says Africa needs to rejig its democracy. Details are on page 9 of the Pointer newspaper. And next to it, man arrested for beating wife and burying newborn baby. You can get the details on page 18. Moving on, you have it written boldly on the front page of the Pointer newspaper. Independence Day, Nigeria's unfinished narrative of women empowerment. Details are on page 8 and 10 of the Pointer newspaper. And beneath that, tribunal holds Oboriwori's election victory as they trash Omo Agege's petition. Details are on page 2. And beneath that, man remanded for raping lover's 4-year-old daughter. Details are on page 4. And next to it, university graduate attempts suicide over withheld result. You can get the details of that on page 18. And below, you have it there. Delta State government won't pay for poorly executed projects, says Aneago. Modes identity database for Deltans and attract more enrollees into health insurance scheme. You can get the details on page 2 and 4 of the Pointer newspaper. All right, I think that's all the stories that made the headlines on the front page of the Pointer newspaper. Now let's move on to Vanguard. Let's take a look at some of the top stories on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper. All right, on the left top there, you have Labour shuns parley with federal government. That is on the nationwide strike. Labour has shunned parley with federal government. Details are on page 5 of the Vanguard newspaper. And beneath that, the Jonathan Lumumba Olu of Warri gathered in Bielsa for Africa. You can get the details on page 24 of the Vanguard newspaper. And beneath that, Edo 2024, the process of seeking my successor must be fair, equitable, and inclusive, says Obaseki. He says the process of seeking his successor must be fair, equitable, and inclusive. You can get the details on page 6 of the Vanguard newspaper. And next to it, you have it boldly written there, Oboriwori floors Omo Agege, Bagi, and Pella, as tribunal affirms his March 28 election and judgment will not stand appellate scrutiny, says Omo Agege. And moving on, you have it on the left side. Bloodletting Kefas, Ibori, Udwara, Okowa couldn't stop. You can get the details of that story on page 13 of the Vanguard newspaper. Beneath that, Navy arrests 8 stowaways inside Europe-bound ship. Details are on page 24. Navy arrests 8 stowaways inside Europe-bound ship. The details are on page 25, and you have it right there in the middle. Big Brother Naija. My daughter disappeared after winning 100 million naira grand prize, says Fina's father as he cries out. You can get the details on page 18. And next to it, secret negotiations with bandits. Stop playing politics with our lives. Northern leaders warn federal government. This is coming from Zamfara government. They say, stop playing politics with our lives. Northern leaders warn federal government. Details are on page 11. And still on Nigeria at 63, Agbakoba, Okore, and Oshun Tokun goes ahead to talk about where we went wrong as a nation. You can get the details on page 9. All right, I think that's all we have on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper. Next, let's look at the top stories on the front page of The Guardian. Yes, you have it written there, The Guardian music. Nigeria at 63. New voices, sound tracking change. The details are on page 19. And beneath that, it is boldly written, insecurity unsettles Abuja ahead independence anniversary. Details are on page 2. And at the left side of this write-up, State House Presidential Villa wearing a new look in celebration of Nigeria's 63rd independence anniversary in Abuja. Details are also on page 2 of the Guardian newspaper. And beneath that, at the left side, RTEAN members take leadership course at NIPSS, want thugs out of parks. Details are on page 4. And followed, federal government, states and local governments share record 1.1 trillion naira as August revenue, says FAAC. Federal government, state governments and local governments share record 1.1 trillion naira as August revenue, says FAAC. Details are on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper. All right, and beneath that, Lagos shorts Ladipo market over filth and other offenses. Lagos shorts Ladipo market over filth and other offenses. The details are on page 7 of the Guardian newspaper. All right, I think that's all we have on the front page of the Guardian newspaper. Lastly, let's take a look at the stories making headlines on the front page of The Choice. All right, you have it at the top there. St. Columba's Catholic Church rewards Chief Egun Okokoyo and others as Ezinne. Details are on page 12. St. Columba's Catholic Church rewards Chief Egun Okokoye and others as Ezinne. Details are on page 12. And next to that, 5,700 Jambites jostle Unidel admission. Details are on page 15 of the Choice newspaper. And beneath that, hunger bites high, foodstuff price skyrockets. Details are on page 9. ABA emerges NDDC board chairman. You can get the details of that on page 2. And beneath that, the Okpara of Idumesa commends Onuika. The details of that story is on page 14 of the Choice newspaper. And beneath that, Fadama Ije distributes fertilizers, cassava stem, herbicides to Aliago community. Details on page 3. Fadama Ije distributes fertilizers, cassava stem, and herbicides to Aliago community. You can get the details on page 3. All right, thanks for staying with us. That's all we have on the front pages of some of our local newspapers and national newspapers. Thanks for joining us. Until next time, bye for now.
Keep watching PMTV Africa.
Keep watching PMTV Africa.
Keep watching PMTV Africa.
I'm giving a shout out to PMTV, People's Mind.
Hi guys, keep watching PMTV Africa.
Hey everybody, keep watching PMTV.
From Toronto, PMTV. Don't touch that dime.
Hey guys, keep watching PMTV.
Nigerians, wherever you are, whatever you know, keep on watching People's Mind Television, PMTV.